open world. I acknowledge you. I actually like that. I think that's gonna come up again tomorrow. Anyways, what's my motivation today? I want to talk about. First, I just want to say I hope it's not a shock to you that I'm going to make the claim that humans are wrong sometimes, and I want to see if we can get a little information from that. Are there broad ways that we can classify types of wrongness, and from that classification, can we come up with very broad and powerful solutions for the conflicts that we're seeing in communication and scale, right? Obviously, human beings are motivated to communicate. We're a social species, of course, but technology has brought us to the place. Before broadcast media, you were motivated and you had resources. But the resource cost to get in someone's face and say stuff is getting less and less and less. So now it's whether you're motivated and you can pull out a phone and you can be on the couch high as fuck, and that's why we're seeing we're seeing I guess a sampling of more types and kinds and variances of motivation. You don't have to have a day job to broadcast to the entire world. In one hand, that's awesome. In another hand, it's horrifying. And if we can see the broad ways that we can be wrong out loud, maybe we can embed and imbue tools with this insight so we can preserve the innocent motivation of our kind without being annoyed by each other. And all that's to say that if we can have a structure that enables different strange kinds of motivation without us making us want to die, we're going to be less doomed as a species and can pluck the insights from our kin without any links to that Lemon Club website. Is that what it? Whatever. Or Two Girls, One Cup. You know what I mean. So the first broad category that I came up with just now is I'm calling it bias in measurement. It's when you have this position of invalidating someone because you feel that a prior model is more important than literally any new information that can exist. And we feel that way because we are assuming an expertise, and that expertise gives us a license to say, hey, this domain is closed. These fixed assumptions and make me conclude that whatever you have to fucking say is wrong, okay? And to kind of loosen up that hardline position, you have to acknowledge the fixed assumption, the assumptions that create the fixed rule, right? So that kind of means that if you have a contrary position, you have to say that I know that for a set of given assumptions, you would usually do this. And then, once you say that, I would assume that for the most part, these people are horrified of they are aware or know someone that knows the story of someone that kind of overemphasized their feelings and the brutal real world crushed them, so they kind of take a far removed stance and look for the objective hardline rules that protect them from a sense of oblivion. So if you can show them like, hey, I read Wikipedia too, I drank a cup of coffee and I skimmed over articles, and you think this, but this is also happening, they'll be more likely, to be like, oh, okay, so my basement is on fire, I should put it out, because they assumed I don't know, I can't even finish it, but let me try. They assumed that because they have a chimney, they would see smoke if their basement was on fire, but someone opened the window and, their house is on fire. But there's also bias in treasure. So this is the way that I get at the feels, right? And this is where you feel like your feelings are more important than anything. And, this is a great way to make an ass out of yourself. In the claim is that a domain doesn't have a given position mapped, and that's a really big deal, and everything has to stop until you feel that feeling acknowledged and coordinated. Is this true? Never as true as you want it to be, I feel. And you could say that about the other one also. Because like say that, someone called you a name, all right? But that statement that involved them calling you a name was we need to get out of this place, you fucking idiot, the house is on fire. Now what's the most important thing in that situation? I'll let you decide. Now what causes us to be fixated and prioritize given domains of an experience? What makes us be ironically wrong about what we feel validates or invalidates a given signal from the outside world? A bias in measurement fixates on the truth of the approach, right? It emphasizes truth over beauty and goodness. And sometimes that's the right way to go. But sometimes the set of assumptions that create the truth aren't aware of hardline problematic things in goodness, in morality, or are unnecessarily ugly. We're not going to choose the thing that's true and ugly when there's a thing that's true and beautiful, let alone good. In bias and what we treasure fixates on the fairness of the approach. Obviously, you feel a certain way and you feel like it's not fair that you're not getting that feeling acknowledged. But again, you're not really seeing, and sometimes that's true. Like sometimes your acknowledgement should be the way that you are acknowledged is important. But there are other dimensions in how we construct meaning. There are dimensions of truth and beauty, and you have to make the call. Does this person have to apologize before you leave the house that's on fire or after? What's more important? And again, hate each other for the right reasons and acknowledge the